What's up, Sailor Scouts? The episode, last one out of Beach City, has been a rather difficult episode to figure out because I remember seeing that title many moons ago and thinking it was going to be a huge, badass epic with Yellow Diamond coming with an army to finally kick the shit out of Steven and the Crystal Gems. And then, no, it's Greg and Amethyst going to rock shows. It's like, oh, okay, we're going to develop that relationship more and see where that plays. And then, like, no, that's not what's going on either. It's actually a Pearl episode. And Pearl has this way of stealing episodes, frankly. Like, oh, hey, cool, we're going to finally see Amethyst and Garnet fuse. No, fuck you, it's a Pearl episode. Oh, Mr. Greg, he wins the lottery or gets money somehow. Nope, Pearl episode. And here we go again. And what we see is the continuation of a development that's been started with Pearl's character arc. And this started, frankly, with the Sardonyx story arc, where because of her issues and because of her problems dealing with the loss of Rose and not really knowing how to move on, and striving for perfection, but also at the same time, craving love with anybody she can attach to. She nearly lost her longest, dearest friend, Garnet. I mean, they've been friends for 5,300 years, and she almost even got the whole gang killed when they came against Peridot. So that's when she started to develop and kind of like try to work on this, and we saw that in Back to the Barn, where she faces the racism of Homeworld towards Pearls, and she stands up to it. She actually makes peace with Greg, and forgives him and forgives herself, and they kind of move on with their friendship. And now we're finally to this point where Pearl has decided to kind of like find herself again and look to the future with this episode. Because Greg and Amethyst are going to go to a rock show, but Greg has to pull out at the last minute because he had other engagement, so Amethyst is still bummed out. But that's when Pearl says, hey, why don't we go out and take the car and go to the rock show. And this is what's interesting. Usually in this show, we've all kind of gotten used to seeing Steven try and encourage people to, better themselves over and over again. He does this with Pearl quite a bit. He didn't do that with this episode. This was all Pearl. This was her idea to go to this. This was her idea to elude the police. This was her idea to go talk to that girl. And that's the main focus point. While they're at the donut shop getting some snacks, they run into this beautiful, statuesque, punky girl that has this long flowing pink hair, while at the same time looking like Rose. Obviously she seems to have her own personality, just from the looks of her. And of course Pearl is enamored of her. She apparently has a type, and she kind of gets it in her craw to talk to her, and she fails adorably the first time around. And then when they see her on the road, she goes to see her again. She runs a red light, which is so not Pearl. I mean, this is the person... Pearl is the kind of person that thinks humans always listen to signs. And she runs this red light. And lo and behold, finally cops exist in this universe. This would be the worst time. Of course, all the stuff that happens in this show, run a red light, here come the cops. And she evades them, much to Amethyst's excitement. She just has a ball encouraging Pearl and having fun with Pearl. And you get the sense that this is the Pearl that she was talking about in Giant Woman, that used to be a lot of fun and used to have this attitude and used to, not be such a grumpy Gus all the time, and or stuck up grumpy Gus. So yeah, I think she enjoyed herself seeing Pearl kind of be a little bit of the older Pearl that we saw, maybe pre-Steven Pearl. And speaking of Steven, Yeah, he's actually kind of like a side character in this. We still see through his eyes, but yeah, like I said, he doesn't take the wheel as far as like encouraging Pearl, and so he's a hilarious side character. He's basically the voice of reason in the episode. His line about okay, she looked like mom, right? Like no one's going to talk about that. Do I have to bring it up? It's so funny because the audience is of course thinking of that, and of course nobody talks about it because Amethyst doesn't even think about it, and Pearl doesn't want to like bring it up. So of course it's him that has to do that. I love the line about the whole bit about her not getting a license because what, am I going to tell him I'm an alien? I'm not even a citizen. But you know what? To be honest, she was here first before this country showed up. The country kind of popped up around her. So she's can you really be an alien in a country when you were there before the country? Yeah, that's probably a good question. So she finally gets to speak to the mystery girl, and we never really find her name except her initial is S. Thankfully, it's not R, like Roseanne or something like that. Now, I hope, frankly, they never go too far with the comparisons. Frankly, I would love to see more. I would love to see some contrast between her and Rose as characters and as people. And she talks to her, and it's wonderful when they finally meet, and we don't really hear them speak, and I thought that was a nice touch. We get to see Amethyst and Steven's view of it, where they can see them from far away, but they can't really hear what they're saying. And they look like they're hitting it off, and she gets her phone number. And cue the closing credits with the cool music. I really dug this episode immensely. As a fan of Pearl, I have to say, I'm not often this excited for a person who doesn't exist. Pearl doesn't exist. She's a cartoon character. She's written by people. She's drawn by other people. She's voiced by a person who isn't her and has her own life and is a completely different, personality and, life. But I'm excited for her, and I really enjoy this potential development of her character, that she is moving on. Yeah, she's moving on with a character who looks like Rose, and I'm hoping she doesn't... There is that danger that she might go this route, that she's going to try and, make her into Rose. But I don't know if that's going to be a major issue in this relationship. I mean, frankly, it could go anywhere at this point. Who knows? But I'm excited the fact that she's trying and she's doing her best to move on, which is absolutely wonderful. God, I love this show. And it's amazing that this episode, it only has like one fantasy element, frankly, at the beginning with Amethyst shapeshifting into a ball, and then the rest could be all human characters, frankly. And I love the fact that with gay characters in, I don't want to say a kid's show, but like all ages show, like Steven Universe, a cartoon, a not primetime cartoon, like Steven Universe. It's really exciting to see how far that's come, because like in the 90s, in the dubs of Sailor Moon, we had characters that were a lesbian couple, but we called them cousins, and it totally wasn't creepy at all that they were hanging out on each other. But that's how they got. That's how they dealt with that. There's an episode of Superman where Maggie Sawyer wakes up with her girlfriend at the hospital, and Bruce Timm is able to get away with that because he doesn't establish a relationship. It could be your sister, I don't know. But anybody who reads the comics knows that's her girlfriend. But that's how they get by the censors. This show kind of doesn't care, and it gets away with it. It's amazing. To be honest, at first it seemed like the show was able to get away with it, through metaphor and the fact that they're aliens, and fusion is just a metaphor. This seems to only completely drop metaphor, frankly, because it's a human that she's very obviously enamored with and wants to hook up with, and goes through the whole kind of kind of stereotypical befuddlement, someone in a comedy or a movie or a TV show trying to like hook up with someone. And it doesn't make a big deal out of it. And it's wonderful how normal it is portrayed in this episode, and how how excited the audience is to see this development in this particular character. So it doesn't really matter, and it's fantastic. And as someone who's been watching cartoons all these years, watching this evolution is just fantastic. This is an excellent episode. And frankly, I feel like this is kind of an important episode. I mean, I would put this kind of with Alone together, and Jailbreak and The Answer as far as like importance socially and what the show does. I kind of like this episode. 5 Ram Chips out of 5. Love this one. One of my favorite Pearl episodes. Great episode. If you haven't seen it, I don't know what the hell you're doing watching me. Go watch the episode. It's great. And I'm going to be talking to you in the future about some other non-Steven Universe stuff. I'm having some free time now, a little bit now. And also, the show is not airing every day, so I now can have a breather and talk about other things. Okay, with that said, don't forget to check me out on Geekvolution. I do shows and videos on that channel as well. I am doing a Kickstarter. I'm going to put the link below. Please check out it. It's about Krampus, and it's awesome. Information is all there. Check out that. Please do it. And I think that's it for now, so push the button, Lindsay.